talking about how the globalists openly try to shutter people's awareness, and that means putting you into a false kind of Times Square television box where they can feed you what they want, and we're not even outdoors. But beyond that, transhumanism is sold as this empowering system, but it's all got Trojan horses in it to dehumanize and to take us beyond just the five senses into an artificial consciousness, synthetic tyranny. And I want to finish up on that subject with David Icke, get into some of the other things that are happening and where they'll take us if they're able to win. But first, throwing one more point out, North American Union. They are completely getting rid of our borders. We know borders are an old tyranny, another construct. But you don't go to pure libertarianism by having open borders and saying millions can come here and get everything free. The globalists are pushing it because it's a new political bloc, again, for divide and conquer. And Breitbart reports on the train of death to the U.S. all the way from Central and South America, all the way from El Salvador, right up into the United States. The representative for the Catholic Relief Services told the Colorado Gazette, as well as other publications, that no, they load them up south of Mexico, and Mexico now lets them through as long as they stay on the train. They sit on the top. They fall off. They die by the thousands. This has been going on for months now, and they just let them come right to our border. Then the Border Patrol openly takes them, loads them on buses, and buses them deeper into the U.S. and releases them. We have that on video. Meanwhile, if I want to fly, they want to grow up my children, and they have Army at the Kite Festival searching people. So clearly, David Icke, this is a total fraud. Petraeus told the London Telegraph that this is part of the new North American Union. Can you briefly speak to that? Then I want to talk big picture with you.
Well, I mean, the great block on this whole union network, whether it's the European Union or the North American Union and all these others around the world, is the nation state. And it is the sense of self-identity, or national self-identity, if you like. And one of the things you see in their documents when they're talking about how they're going to, they are doing it, when they were talking about how they intended to socially engineer society and get society how they want. One of the things was unfettered immigration. This was in their technique to destroy a sense of national identity. And so in the European Union, of course, the very nature of the European Union is that within it, there are no borders in terms of people coming in and out, virtually no borders. And so what you're doing is you're taking loads of people from this culture and you're putting them in that culture, and loads of people from that culture, you're putting them in that culture. And in the end, it's just one kind of universal culture, if you like. The sense of national identity has gone. Now, personally, I'm not a nationalist. I love the landscape of Britain, but I'm not. Britain. I'm none of that stuff. But if we're going to be streetwise, we need to go beyond that and understand why it's happening. And the more that you can destroy a sense of national identity, this is the key, the more you're diluting resistance to having that national identity officially deleted by bringing these unions together. And of course, the Prime Minister of Italy has now come out and said that when they have the presidency of Europe, he's going to press for a United States of Europe. Well, what he is just a puppet, because the United States of Europe was planned from well before the original common market ever started. And
you were a conspiracy theorist if you said that, and you've broken it down so beautifully. It's not that you're just rah USA. They're getting rid of the borders to then bring in groups who will vote to get rid of any semblance of Bill of Rights and Constitution, and to form the new core of the social workers to prey on the old group, which is what they've done. I've had members of your parliament on. Most of the social workers are foreigners. This is their balkanization plan. They're erasing all cultures, and they've brought in economic systems in Latin America to enslave them. So they have no choice but to come up here. You can really see how they've rolled this whole plan down. And it's not that we're even against these immigrants. We've got to be streetwise and see if the globalists are for it, we need to be against it because it's part of a larger plan.
Yeah, this is the point, Alex. You know, I mentioned earlier about divide and rule. And what they do is they play off people that don't want mass immigration against the people who are coming in, the migrants. And yet both, this is the thing we need to understand, both are victims of this cabal. The immigrants coming into various countries in vast numbers are being used and manipulated just as much as the people in the country. And this is where
and that's how we communicate with them. I've actually been successful because we go past the paradigm and say, can't have you all in here getting everything free, but I love you. We need to make your country free and explain it to them. But it's just so incredibly sophisticated what the globalists have done. Let's shift gears now in the time we've got left with David Icke of DavidIcke.com. I want to talk some about your book, may even twist your arm till the bottom of the hour, but I know you're busy. David, what happens if they win? We know it's not the heavenly transhumanism Ray Kurzweil world because we've got the globalist-owned documents. It's 90+% population reductions. The rest of us merge with machines like something out of the Borg. Where does the spider want to take us ultimately?
Well, it will be a world in which people have no ability to free think. Their thoughts will be downloaded to them, and they will love their servitude. You know, some of these transhumanists are talking about that. I mean, this is what Aldous Huxley was talking about. You get people to love their servitude. Although, you know, they're robots, you manipulate their minds so they actually enjoy it. And we've got a guy in this country called Warwick, Professor Warwick at Reading University, you know, don't start me off, who's talking, you know, he's been one of these people that have pushed the microchip agenda and the transhumanist agenda. And he's saying, well, you know, if you can feel good and feel nice and feel happy, why not get attached to the Matrix? And it's the complete end of the human being as we know it, where you have the ability to process information and come to your own conclusions. That human will exist no more. It will be a biological robot that will just respond to stimuli.
And now DARPA admits what we knew decades ago, and we're kooks, that, oh, we're going to start brain chipping the troops, and, oh, we've been doing tests for decades. Yeah. They had remote control rats and roaches, as you know, 30 years ago, and now they're rolling it out. And, hey, it's great if you've got epilepsy and a brain stimulator chip makes you be able to live happy. The problem is that's now attached to the internet, that wireless system, and to the spider, and you literally have a control node from the spider hooked into you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, there's this movie that's going around in Britain at the moment, it would have been in America earlier, called Transcendence. And that was about the internet becoming conscious. And we're now having scientists speculating on whether the internet could become conscious. Well, I think it's already probably conscious.
I agree.
And the idea is to lock us in to that technological consciousness so that it is feeding us all our thoughts. And it's something that sounds, well, even less and less now, but to many people will sound completely science fiction. But that's where we're going. And so when we are seeing this movement to have brain-computer interfaces, that's because the body is basically, I've been saying this for so long, it's a biological computer. And the brain is a biological computer. And it's because of that, one's a biological computer, one's like a technological computer, but because the principles are the same in how they work, the basic principles, that's how you can have brain-computer interfacing. The idea is to make that the norm so everyone is connected technologically to this technological collective mind.
And again, the consciousness of this new AI system being fed the ideas, the dreams of humans, is now a future predicting system with almost total accuracy of mass movements, cornering the human market, and that ends free will, because if you can track what the future, you can then put in data that will actually change the course and control the future. How long do you think stuff really gets crazy?
I wonder, Alex, if that's not already happening.
I agree. Can you, in your gut, do you, a lot of people are picking up on the new consciousness. A lot of people feel the dread. I don't think it's a very sweet thing that's been created.
No, I have been convinced for a long time that we are being fed a reality. And the more that we, if you like, get programmed into it, like with these movies that are portraying the world they want, the more powerfully it affects us. But it's like I was saying earlier, you know, if I had the wireless internet here, no one could see it, but I tune a computer into that frequency to pick up the wireless internet, and I have a whole reality on my screen that can be picked up in anywhere in the world, in any culture, because of the World Wide Web. And all you're doing is locking into that World Wide Web through the computer terminal, and therefore you're accessing that collective reality.
Alex Jones here to break down some exciting developments in the area of research concerning supplemental iodine. It's nothing less than phenomenal. I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. And I used some of the mainline iodine supplements, and they upset my stomach, and I had some issues with it. Until I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group, who I was already interviewing as an expert on my radio show, and I began taking the product before he actually rolled it out. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals that are incredibly powerful that no one else has as a source for their iodine, from between 7,000 and 12,000 feet, literally drilled out of the ground. You put it on a hot plate, and it turns into the pure gas. No one else has 99.99% pure iodine. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. I was over 270 pounds. And with the iodine, exercise, and better diet, I have lost now more than 50 pounds total, and I'm continuing to lose the weight. I have more energy, my libido, all this crap came out of my skin. I believe our research is conclusive. This is the best iodine out there. And I know this for a fact. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating. This is trailblazing. And the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox special at InfoWarsLife.com.